Hello and welcome to the new Smite Meta update, what you should be playing at grind ranked. But I should probably call it the Smite Meta up late, because of how long this took to come out. I'm NotAValveGAme, and I'm here to tell you what is good if you want to grind. The recent reset makes it harder to get higher, but let me tell you what you should be playing so you can grind up higher. Before we start, it turns out 80% of you aren't sub. You should probably fix that. Sub if you enjoy the content and want to see more. You can always unsub later, since it's free. But why listen to me? Well, I've been playing Smite as my main game since Kali rework in 2014, and have been Masters consistently since Season 4. I hit Grand Masters once in Season 7, 3 times in Season 8, twice in Season 9, twice in Season 10, so I hope I know a few things about grinding ranked. And with that out of the way, let's dive right into it. As always, I'll be starting with carry and moving across the map over to solo to end the video. Each role will have a timestamp in the description so you can go to it when you need to. Starting off in carry, Medusa. Medusa has been destroying at all levels of play, even after the nerf. She's not the safest hunter in the world, but she makes up for it with her damage potential. I recommend going towards the ability-based end, building an Aussie, Jotun's, Crusher, Heartseeker, and finishing up the build with either a duality or a kin size, depending on what the other team has. If they're tank heavy, I would recommend going to kins. My next pick is Charybdis. She's super safe, has really good jungle clear and objective damage, plus a good objective shred. Her ultimate has been changed, so now it's a usable ability outside of running away, so keep that in mind the next time you pilot the pick. For her build, you'll be looking more towards a traditional hunter build. Crit made a resurgence, and now has fallen off because of one item in particular. Tank stats have become very prevalent, and now you pretty much always go the pen build. This build also works for our next two picks, the first of which is On Her. He's aggressive, safe, and has a lot of 1v1 potential. His first ability gives a huge area slow and buys you time to either put out your damage or get away. His leap has a knockback on it, and so does his 2. His low CC immune cooldown ultimate will help you get to safety, and it helps with his aggression. But if you want to look in a different direction, the next pick, Hachiman. Even though you might be sick of seeing him, he's still really good. For the same reasons I've said before. Safe, high damage, good at all phases of the game, there's not much more to say. I stick to the same traditional carry build I said before. And she's back. Freya. With Vitalis returning, so does Freya. Magical carries might make a resurgence in the weeks coming, but I'll keep a closer eye on it. She's decent early clear, has really good late game, and a bit of lifesteal, demonic grip, Vitalis, and you can go from there. You could even choose to sell her starter item if you wish. A lot of higher level players do choose to do that, not keeping the conduit gem, and going for more attacks. Moving over to supports, Bacchus has to be the first one I mentioned. Aggressive supports are the name of the game, and Bacchus fits that bill extremely well. He can get away with building a little bit more damage. He has a fun, aggressive playstyle that is incredibly effective right now. Really good engage, Intoxicate is a very powerful CC, and he's just super hard to kill. And you will see a big offender item in this build, Shifter Shield. Shifter Shield has made it so that tank stats are on a lot of characters. I would rush that item on Bacchus, but you can choose to go Cannoneers. Cannoneers is a sleeper item that not a lot of people are picking up right now because they're very wrapped up in shifters. If you need something cheaper, or let's just say you die early in lane, Cannoneers is definitely a good way to catch up and get those same matching stats, at least base stats, as Shifter Shield for a lot cheaper. $18.50 is a very small price. My next pick is Ardeo. Ardeo holds her spot because of her healing, her ability to deny a lot of picks on this list, and her aggressive playstyle. She loves being able to run it down at the enemy damage dealers, and just being as annoying as possible. You want a bit more cooldown on Ardeo's build, but I prefer the breastplate because of how mana hungry she can be. My next pick, on his own this time, is Kuzenbo. Kuzenbo is incredibly tanky and can just stand in front of you and kill you. He is extremely difficult to kill for pretty much anybody, and wastes so much time. The reflect damage, without Nemean, is crazy. You buy a Thorns on him, and he stands in front of your carry, and they cannot play the game. It is no fun for them. So if you're a support, you should definitely be playing this pick. Cerberus is another high damage kill pressure support. The sheer amount of damage he does is crazy at all stages of the game, even from support. He has an ultimate that forces beads and has a powerful protection shred. And once you get good with the stuns, he is a menace in ranked games. Definitely start playing a couple games on him. Ares, now separate from his buddy Kuzenbo, stands out because of his aggressive playstyle and his kill pressure. He's easier to kill than some of the other supports, but is still very powerful. He has beads pressure, he has really good sustain with the second ability, and overall is just incredibly powerful. Moving over to the mid lane, I'm much more defined on what is good in the mid lane now, so hopefully this is a very clear direction. Chang'e is still at the top. Despite her nerfs, this character still just makes stuff happen. In the late game, she has the ability to blink on a carry and just kill them with 2 to 3 abilities if they don't use their relics properly. This is the build I would go on her. It allows her to be aggressive and just one shot. The Reaver versus the Rod is dependent on whoever you're trying to hit. If the targets are a bit more tanky, you might want to go a Reaver, and if the targets are not as tanky, the Rod is probably just better for you. Medusa's back, but this time I have a different build. For the same reason she's here, but This is a more ability-centric build. This build is from an SCC level mid laner. This is what he said would be the best, at least for ranked. The Soul Eater or the healing Jotuns. And then you have just straight ability damage, similar to the one I gave before. Her raw damage potential is just crazy. Speaking of raw, they just keep buffing this guy. He has solid early mid pressure. He has really short cooldowns, and then ultimate in the late game basically doesn't have a cooldown. This character has really good damage, decent survivability, and overall needs to be picked up by more mids. This is the build you should be looking at. The Doom Orb gives you movement speed, flat pen, crazy damage. You can move around the Divine Rune if you need it earlier, but the Desolation is super powerful, makes your cooldown even shorter. My next pick is Agni. He has damage, safety, short cooldowns, and Agni can just continue to run games for the mid lane. He's versatile, but this build, I feel, fits him well. My last pick is Yu Huang. This character has high damage, safety, and more. He should definitely be on your pick list if you're a mid laner right now. The items you want to buy on Yu Huang are really good right now, and there's just so much going for him. The ultimate takes some getting used to, but once you do, this god is a powerhouse. Moving over to jungle, who else am I going to talk about first but the Bat? My first pick in the role is Camazotz. Having high damage, safety, and healing turns out to be really good. Using his ultimate as both a chasing tool or safety tool is also really strong. This god hurts, outtrades people, kills them pretty quickly. The only downside is he doesn't have CC. My next pick is Daji. Daji is another god that is good because of her insane kill potential. Her ultimate forces beads easily, and she has so much mobility. She's a difficult god to 1v1 in the late game, and she's useful at all points in the game. My next pick is Lancelot. People are sick of playing this guy, but he's still incredibly powerful. He does so much damage. He has really good safety with the horse, and he's incredibly difficult to 1v1 in the late game. A new face in the jungle role. I bet some of you were waiting for this, but it's Erlong Shen. They gave him his knockup back, and he feels pretty good. I wouldn't call him the best jungler in the game, but he certainly feels powerful. His combo ability with his CC is immense. With the power of Stone Cutting Sword, Iqbal, or Shifter Shield's return, it certainly helps him a lot. Frostbound Hammer's as strong as it's ever been. This character does a lot. My last pick for jungle is actually not a pick at all. There are a good deal of variety in jungle right, and it's difficult to pinpoint one to kind of recommend for you. I could say Susano, I could say Hunbats, I could also say Osiris. There's a lot of picks that you could go through right now, but whatever you feel most comfortable on is what you should go for. Moving over to the solo lane, Cullen still up top. He's got really good kill pressure. So many people still aren't used to the health changes in the game. His late game engage is strong, and he has the kill potential early, which can get you a lead, which you can rotate with and push a lead with your team. Shifter Shield gives him some early power that allows him for even more kill pressure. The Phoenix Shield gives him some old Glad Shield healing that you're definitely gonna love. Mulan, kill pressure. She has it. Winning lanes. She does it. Winning games. She usually does it too. She's a little bit easier to gank, but she can fight back and sometimes turn it into a double kill. Avoid playing her into Osiris, though. It is by far her worst matchup. The addition of Shifters and Phoenix Shield makes her borderline impossible to solo kill. You need help from your jungler most of the time. My next pick is Chalk. Chalk is just tanky. He doesn't really lose any lanes, and he just feels good to play. His dive is powerful, his movement and gameplay make him interesting and fun to play, and his gigantic attack and movement speed slow are a massive tool in the late game team fights. This character should be on your radar with how powerful he is. The Squid, Cthulhu, still here. Making massive waves. He has pressure in a lot of matchups. Even in ones he doesn't, he still goes even. In the late game, he's a powerhouse and allows you to play aggressively. He has good trade potential, good bold demon fights, and more. And my last pick is Cerberus. For the same reasons I said in support, or even more so in solo, except for he's allowed to build a bit more damage. That's really it. He's allowed to build more damage. He could solo kill people so quickly because of the sheer amount of damage he could do. This god's crazy. But that's gonna be it. Let me know if you like the new format of meta update and if I should change anything about it. As always, if you enjoyed, like, comment, and have a good day.